Hi everyone, my name is Inanc. I'm the co-founder of Lazada in Southeast Asia and CEO of Lazada in the Philippines. So I came to Philippines in 2012, almost 6 years ago. I used to do investment banking in London before, and before that I used to study in the US. So I was familiar with e-commerce before coming to Philippines to launch an e-commerce company, but it was my first time in Southeast Asia, even as a tourist. In fact, I tell this story all the time, but when I was asked to start an e-commerce company in Southeast Asia, they asked me, do you want to launch in Malaysia, Thailand, Vietnam, Philippines, etc.? I didn't even know at that time that Philippines was in Southeast Asia. It was like such a spur of a moment. So I was actually asked to join any of these countries, so I had to go back home, search on Wikipedia, and realize that Philippines was in Southeast Asia, and then come here 2 weeks later to launch Lazada in the Philippines. So to give you a short idea about what Lazada does, so Lazada is an online shopping destination in Indonesia, Malaysia, Thailand, Vietnam, Philippines, and in Singapore. We are headquartered in Singapore. We launched in March 2012 in 5 countries at the same time, and then 2 years later, we launched in Singapore as well. So Lazada has 3 main business models. So we started as a retail e-commerce company. It's a first-party e-commerce business, which means that we used to buy from our suppliers and sell to our customers. 2 years later, we pivoted our business model into a marketplace platform. A marketplace platform is sort of like a shopping mall. So we used to be like a department store, and we turned our business into a shopping mall. Today, we have tens of thousands of merchants that are selling on our platform in all of our countries. To give you an idea how big the platform is, in the Philippines today, we have 29 million products available to buy any moment. If you go to a shopping mall, there are around 600,000 products. If you go to the largest shopping malls, up to 1 million products, and we are able to offer 29 million products through our marketplace platform. And 2 years ago, we launched another vertical into our business. So in addition to retail and marketplace, we launched cross-border trade. Cross-border trade is very similar to a marketplace platform. The difference is that the merchants are located abroad. We have merchants coming from China, Hong Kong, Korea, all around the world. And 3 months ago, after Alibaba investment into Lazada, we also launched Taobao collection in the Philippines. Taobao is the largest e-commerce company of Alibaba. It is in fact the world's largest e-commerce company. They have 1.6 billion products in China. And we launched a small Taobao shop within Lazada in the Philippines with 8 million products. And every week we add an additional 1 million product to the assortment. These are the sort of products that are difficult to find in the Philippines. After the customer makes an order, the Taobao merchant in China fulfills the order. We pick up from the merchant location in China, we bring it to Shenzhen, from Shenzhen to Philippines, Philippines directly to the customer. So very complex logistics ecosystem. Okay, so around 6 months ago, we set a new vision for Lazada that we call it for Lazada 2020 vision. And our vision is to become a technology-driven platform, empowering our sellers and brands. We realized that we need to fulfill certain things in order to continue the very strong growth of the company. So most of these apply to all e-commerce companies around the world, but there are certain things that are very specific to Southeast Asia. To start with assortment. So we always know that we need to provide the biggest and most competitive assortment to our customers. That's why we are doing all these partnerships. This is why we changed our business model 3 times, in order to have more and more products at the most competitive prices. Also, Lazada, yes, we have our customers, but we have our merchants as well. We are doing everything we can in order to empower our merchants and at the same time the brands too. We realized last year that we need to put more and more emphasis into the brands. That's why we started joint business plans with the largest brands in the Philippines. Another thing that's very important that comes into play every day is the customer experience. But this is sort of like a balance. When you do a marketplace, you have your merchants, you want to have an open platform, so you can have millions of products in your platform, but at the same time, you need to provide a good customer experience, which is a difficult balance. So what we do is that we define for our merchants what is a good customer experience means, and then anyone in the platform, all of our third-party logistics companies and other companies that we work with adhere to these rules that Lazada sets, and this is how we deliver this experience to the customer. At the same time, we need to be very transparent with our customers. If an item is coming from Mindanao, if an item is coming from Cebu, we need to very clearly communicate to our customers that how many days it's going to take, what is going to be the experience. If you want to return this item, what is the process? So it comes into play in different aspects of user experience. And at the same time, one of the most important things that we have in here that we learned after Alibaba investment is create an ecosystem around Lazada. So we didn't have this before. If I was talking here last year, I wouldn't talk about this, but this is something that we heavily rely on today. What we learned from Alibaba, what we learned from Jack Ma is that we need to focus on our core business. Our core business is e-commerce, and our mentality is everything that's not our core business, we want to give this business to third parties around us. It doesn't have to be only logistics. It can be picture taking, for example. We have 29 million products. We need to take 100 million pictures on the website. Like I, in fact, told my head of content, the team who was taking the pictures, I told them, if you want, you can leave the company, start your own business, and I'll give you this business exactly. Hire everyone. Because, I mean, we believe that if that activity is the core business of another company, I believe that they'll do it better than us. They'll do it at a cheaper rate, and in the end, I will benefit, our customers will benefit. And this is the exact mentality that we learned from Alibaba that we are trying to bring into the Philippines. And this applies to any expense in our P&L. It is logistics, payment, customer acquisition, merchant acquisition, any kind of activity that I think will make the e-commerce ecosystem in the Philippines a much bigger one in the upcoming years. Okay, so when we specifically focus on logistics, I mean, everyone is very aware, but logistics in the Philippines is very difficult. A lot of people say, oh, logistics in US is great, in logistics in Europe is great. It's great because it's easy. FedEx is an easy job, UPS is an easy job. They don't have all these islands. They have drop density. They have all the infrastructure. They have train. They don't have these islands. So we know that it's very difficult. And at the same time, being difficult makes it very expensive too. So there are very hard to reach low density areas, especially for e-commerce. If you don't live in metro cities, if you don't live in tier 1 cities in the Philippines, the retail penetration is very low. So those people, they need access to retail, and e-commerce is one of those things that they can reach out to all these items. That's why e-commerce companies make a lot of deliveries to those areas that most people don't even think about. So certain areas, it takes us almost 2 weeks for us to reach. We change 5 different vehicles. We put them in a ship in here, and then they go to another boat. There is a bus or tricycle. In some cases, we have pictures that the boxes are being carried on animals, on cows, these refrigerators. So this is the complexity of the environment that we have in the Philippines. Not only this, there is even one more complexity on top of that, which is collecting the money. So I told you I wasn't used to this kind of e-commerce before we come here, but we very quickly realized that cash collection is an issue, right? The credit card penetration is 3%, plastic card penetration is 6%, even banking penetration is 32%. So 68% of people don't even have a bank account. So we very quickly realized we had to come up with a way on how to collect this money. So there are 2 things that you can do. The first one is you do over-the-counter payment. So you tell the customer, so the customer goes to the website, they make an order, you tell them, okay, you have 24 hours to go to this location and make the payment, which, to be honest, I don't like. Because it's not e-commerce anymore, in my opinion, if you have to send the customer to a location, to a bank, to another like convenience store to make the payment. I mean, it's not convenient. So what we did in 5 years ago, we were the first e-commerce company to do nationwide cash-on-delivery in the Philippines. This is very difficult. It took us years, and it still takes us time in order to turn this into a viable business. As you may think, like we take an item to the customer, in the beginning, 30% of the cases, we wouldn't be able to deliver it. We either cannot find the address, the customer doesn't have the money, they change their mind, they already bought it from the department store, etc. And we have been putting on top of it every day. Today, we brought it to single-digit numbers. It is still a difficult business, but this puts an extreme complexity on top of all of these logistics problems in the Philippines. So we did a lot of things since we launched our company in the Philippines in terms of logistics. In fact, it is the biggest investment area of Lazada. We spent several hundreds of millions of dollars in the Philippines to build a logistics ecosystem. We have warehouses, we have logistics hubs, we have launched our own last mile delivery company, Lazada Express. We still use a lot of third-party logistics companies like Air21, LBC, To Go, and we do first mile and last mile delivery, not only in the Philippines, but in China, Korea, Hong Kong, and several European countries as well. And obviously a lot of customs and duties related items. So in terms of warehouses, we recently moved into our fourth generation warehouse in Laguna. It's a 30,000 square meter warehouse. It's fully automated. We are in the process of building another 30,000 square meter right next to it. In Malaysia, those of you who follow me on LinkedIn probably saw the videos that I put. We started using robots in Malaysia. There are these, I don't know if you're familiar with Roombas, these small robots. So they don't pick the item. What they do is that these robots crawl under the racks. They bring the rack to you. So these whole racks, so the picking guy stands here, and these whole racks come to you with robots, and you pick standing up, not just going to the racks yourself. So our aim is to bring these robots to the Philippines in the next 2 years and make our e-commerce fulfillment operations more efficient. We have another warehouse in Cebu, 2,500 square meters, and we are opening another warehouse in Davao as well. So in addition to this, let's skip this one. In addition to this, we have 37 logistics hubs all around the Philippines. I will explain you how it works. And we have a sorting center in Tanyac. This is also fully automated. Every day we have hundreds of thousands of packages that come to the sorting center. All of these packages are automatically 3D scanned for dim weight, and depending on the barcodes on them, with robotic arms, they put them in different pouches wherever they need to be, depending on the destination. So coming to Lazada Express, let me first explain why an e-commerce company started a last mile delivery company in the Philippines. So our aim was not to start a logistics company, but when we started a marketplace in 2014, there was another complexity for our business, which was picking up those packages from merchants every morning. It was not only a first for us, but it was also a first for the businesses in the Philippines. Because all the merchants on Lazada are registered businesses. These are not individual people, and they've never done marketplace e-commerce before. So it was, I mean, as you can imagine, every day, thousands of locations we go, we pick up. There are cutoff times. People, the merchants, not always adhere to the cutoff times. We make a promise to the customer, and there is a lot of technological innovation that we had to bring in order to fix these problems. So when we look into the market, the third-party logistics companies, this was not one of the services offered in the Philippines. And in the beginning, it was a small business. We said, okay, why don't we get 10 trucks? Let's pick up ourselves. I mean, at that time, we had like 100 merchants. So we got 10 trucks. We started picking up from these locations. Then the business grew. We got 100 trucks, we got 200 trucks, we got 500 trucks. And then it became obvious that it would be more efficient if we slowly start delivering in certain areas of Metro Manila as well, where we have very high density. So we slowly started delivering as well, and we applied technology that we use in Lazada. And when we did this, we realized that when technology marries with logistics, I mean, it's very obvious actually, it produced amazing results. So we had very reliable delivery, we had very affordable delivery. It was in fact 50% of the cost of the market, and we had much faster lead times because there was no handover, which leads to better customer service. And better customer service, I mean, everyone talks about customer service, right? But I'll tell you why it's important for us. For an e-commerce company to be viable in the long term and to be scalable in the long term, you need your customers to keep coming back to you. So the number one KPI we look at is repurchase rate. I need people to come back to Lazada and to shop from Lazada X number of times a year. And this is the biggest driver of our number one KPI. This is the biggest lever, the customer experience, which we measure through different metrics. We look at Net Promoter Score, customer satisfaction, and there are certain things that are inherent to Lazada. And this is why we started investing in Lazada Express. So today, Lazada Express has 500 vans, over 700 bikes, and over 2,500 people. We cover 70% of Lazada orders through Lazada Express. And for the rest of the orders, we use the largest logistics companies in the Philippines. We try a lot of things. We recently started same-day deliveries. If you order before 1 p.m. in Metro Manila, you get your order the same day for the items that are fulfilled out of our warehouse. We acquired electric bikes from China. If you are living in BGC today, all of your items are delivered with electric bikes. Soon we will cover whole Metro Manila because this significantly decreases the cost. And on top of that, we recently started delivering with female employees. Our failed delivery rate is now half what it used to be. If you compare a male delivery employee to a male delivers 93% of the time, female delivers 98% of the time. I'm talking about millions of dollars, tens of millions of dollars of savings by having more female delivery people. Okay, and as I mentioned, we use a lot of third-party logistics companies. These are just some of them: Air 21, LBC, To Go, XDE, and NinjaVan. So I want to finish by just explaining you how complex this works. So the way this works is customer goes to Lazada, they make an order, and let's say this is a marketplace order. So the merchant is notified on their seller center. So you are a merchant, you get the order, you accept the order, you go to your warehouse, you pick and pack, you click on ready to ship. So the item prepares the order, and then they make it ready to ship. And then Lazada Express picks up all the orders in the Philippines at this moment. So our Lazada Express vans, every day, they go to around 20,000 pickup locations, every day. And then the orders are brought to our sorting center. In the sorting center, depending on where the customer is, the order is given to either a third-party logistics company or Lazada Express. And through Lazada Express, we deliver the item to our customers. But this is not the only fulfillment method for us. So we have something called fulfillment by Lazada. If you're a marketplace merchant, you can leave the item in Lazada warehouse, and the Lazada operations staff does the fulfillment for you. And we also have a retail business, our first-party business, which is very similar to fulfillment by Lazada. And we fulfill the orders ourselves through our brand partners. So overall, I want to close by saying that logistics, I think, is the heart of e-commerce. When people ask me, what kind of business do you run? I mean, I jokingly say, it's true, I jokingly say that Lazada is a logistics company with a website attached to it. Because 99% of our effort goes into fulfilling our orders. 1% of the effort is, I think, e-commerce, because once you set it up, it is there. And in the Philippines, I would tell you, it is one of the most difficult countries in the world to do e-commerce. But this is at the same time a great opportunity, not only for e-commerce companies, but logistics companies as well. We have seen great traction, and I believe that this will continue, and Philippines is going to be one of the powerhouses of e-commerce, not only in Southeast Asia, but all around the world. Thank you very much.